Wow, here we are again. Psalm 19. Let's jump right into it. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows His handiwork. Wow. And that's how it's written in the Old Testament. Let's look at a New Testament part of this. The passage means that there is no excuse for man not to believe in God. For we are plainly told in this little bit of Psalm right here, in number 1 of Psalm 19, we're told plainly that the heavens declare His glory. He flung the stars in the sky by the millions. He hung the moon where it was and said, stay there. He put the sun in the sky and said, stay there. The sun is not rotating the earth. The earth is spinning, and it's spinning, and the sun stays where it is. And we see it. The day unto day utter speech, and night unto night He shows His knowledge. Woo, His speech is how everything works. We see it with our eyes. We may not hear it all with our ears, but we can see it with our eyes. There is no speech, no language where their voice is not heard. Everything, listen, stand in the woods in the dead quiet of the daytime right by yourself and open your ears and listen. You'll start hearing the squirrels. You'll hear the birds. You'll hear the bugs in the leaves. You'll hear the wind in the trees. You'll hear the noise of the trees actually crackling where they're growing. If you tune your ear to what's around you, you'll hear what God has done and is doing on this earth. He is a wonderful God. He didn't make this earth for Him. He made it for us. And He put Adam and Eve on it to enjoy it. And they would have never had to toil if they hadn't sinned. He would have gave them. They wouldn't have had to plant a garden. He would have gave them all they needed. This means that the material earth is a sphere in which the heavens only are the message, and they operate. And the message itself is addressed to the inhabitants. God made this for man, that we could enjoy it. God does not need air. He does not need air. He made air for man. If you and I didn't have air, we wouldn't be able to live here in this world. There's no limitations. All nations are embraced in this gracious revolution. Can you believe this? The revelation of what God did, He gave to the heathen nation, and He gave to the nations not heathen. The heathen nation breathes the same air. God is graceful and merciful enough to give it to him. If He was to move the air from one nation to another, that whole nation would die, and the other nation would live. Even though such knowledge does not bring one salvation, it is the first step toward the acknowledgement of God and all that pertain to God, which leave men without excuse. Man. I have a book, a Bible, put out by Brother Jimmy Swaggart, and he does a lot of narration in it from the New Testament, matching it up to the Old Testament scriptures. And they are beautiful. Their line teaches, and His teaching is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them has He set a tabernacle for the sun. He's talking about the heavens now. In the heavens He set a tabernacle for the sun. And the sun is to stay in its tabernacle. Listen to this. What it means is the heaven, the constellations keep constantly pouring forth, teaching, respecting the glory of God. He said, stay there. And He put them there. And they stay and they do exactly what He told them to do. And the glory of God, so that all nations are without excuse. Romans 1:19-20. It says, even though the heavens display the glory of God. That's the glory of God displayed. What's it made displayed for? For us, for you and I. That He has delivered. And that the Son is enclosed and enveloped of fire. Just think, if that fire could get loose from the sun and come as far as the earth, we would burn up in a second. It would be just a spot. Did you ever throw some little piece in the fire and watch it and it went? That's exactly what this earth would do if the sun was to exceed its hotness now. And enclosed and enveloped in the fire. But this fact was shown in the Psalm about 3,000 years ago as David wrote this Psalm, Psalm 19. He's talking about what you and I, in the modern day and age, I just learned and he already knew, which is, as the bridegroom coming out of the chamber and rejoices as a strong man to run the race. The picture of the sun. It is the crowning glory of God up there to control the temperature for you and I, that we could live on this earth and the earth would work. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and His circuit is the end for it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. Wow. You know, the Son of God, there is no sin hid. He reveals the sin, and He is the one, He is the Son of God, the same as this beaming sun we see right here. What it does is what Jesus does for the human being. And many things are hidden from the light of the sun, but nothing from its heat, which is the vital force when the whole earth receives life and energy. It's given here in the Bible first of all. We see it was given in the Bible, told us in the Bible how it did it, how Jesus did it, how God did it. And the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. Hey, do you know that one of the smartest men in the world is the simplest man in the world? I am simple enough to believe the Bible is 100% the truth. And to believe that God did what He said He was going to do. And He did it in the 7-day realm. And He made all of that and He finished it. And He said, it is finished. And when He said that, it is finished. And it was. And just look at verse, many things are hidden from the light of the sun, but nothing's hidden from the heat. Many things we think that we hide from God, but nothing is hid from His Spirit. His Spirit is everywhere, all the time. It's omniscient. It's omnipresent. The Spirit of God is omnipresent. You cannot get away from the Spirit of God. You cannot hide from the Spirit of God. You cannot lie without Him knowing you lied. You cannot cheat without Him knowing you cheated. You cannot drink without Him knowing that you drank. You cannot do opposite of what He says without Him knowing it. It's a strike on His heart. I know I did things. My mother said, do not do that. And I did it right in front of her, and it smited her heart. She said, son, would you please obey me? Please do not do those type of things. And so I see we do that to God. We do that to Jesus. Jesus said, I left you a book. And in my book, it tells you how to live. It tells you what sin is and what sin isn't. It tells you what righteousness is and what isn't righteous. And I am total righteousness, and if you're going to follow me, you need to get just as close to that righteousness as you can. And so we need to do that. Well, our time's come and gone. We will see you next time, right? Bye-bye.